Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a fly. This is a very good fly. It's actually a March brown wet fly, but I fish this fly dry a lot, and it's very good during caddis hatches. To start out, the hook that I'm going to use, Lively Legs Lip Splitter, number 305, size 14, is a barbless dry fly hook, although this fly is going to be technically a wet fly, but I use them as dry flies. And here we have the hooks, nice barbless hook, very sharp. We're going to use Hare's Ear, Hare's Ear dubbing. We're going to use a extra fine gold wire. We're going to use a ginger or brown ginger hackle. And lastly, we're going to use a turkey wing feather for the wing. I'm going to use black thread, and it's just 8/0. I'm going to put a base of thread down and start behind the hook and bring that thread back just past the point. Hold your thread at that 45-degree angle and you'll get nice touching turns, and you'll be able to go fast with it too. So we're just past the point. If you have a good grip on your thread, you can break it off. Now first thing I'm going to do is put my rib in. And then I'm going to turn it over to put the dumbing on. Just going to take my extra fine copper wire, and we're going to tie that in. And next we need a tail. The tail is going to be, I'm just going to take, you can see this particular hackle right here is a very webby one. You can see there's no stiff ones until you get way up here. This is all web. But this is technically a wet fly. So I'm just going to take some of the hackle, pull them off all to the right angle, and then just pull them all off together. And your tail, the tips should be lined up. We're going to make this tail about 1/2 to 1 length of the hook shank. Take a nice soft loop, pull it straight down, and then you can put a couple more loops on there to secure it. You can even go ahead and wind that right up. And lucky me, I don't have to cut anything off. I'm going to go ahead and put a wrap underneath the tail. Oop. There we go. And now I'm going to turn my hook upside down. And because I have hare's ear material, I'm going to put some wax on there, and this is 100% beeswax. And now I'm going to take the hare's ear material, and the hare's ear is very spiky. It's also very dry. And we're going to put this on a little bit at a time. Remember, you can always add more. Yeah, we're going to take that last little pinch there and get that on. And sometimes I actually have to put a little moisture on my fingers besides using the wax. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this. Now this, I'm going to take another one under the tail, just so I ensure that I'm not going to be showing any thread there. Not that the fish would really be concerned with it. We're going to go ahead and wrap this. We want to stay about an eye length and a half from the eye of the hook. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off there. Twist that back in there just that little bit. Now we can take our rib, and I'm going to counter wrap this, although it's only dubbing. Like I said on a previous video, if you always counter wrap, you're not going to mess up when you need the counter wrap, such as a pheasant tail, where you need that to be counter wrapped. Put about 3 or 4 turns on top, and you could go ahead and break that off. Now we're going to put a throat on this. We're going to take our hackle once again, and you could just go ahead and you don't have to wind it to make a hackle. Just go ahead and take a bunch of them, just like you did with the tail, and pull them all off together. Then I'm going to turn my hook upside down, and I'm going to touch the tips to the point of the hook. Make a loose loop, pull it straight down. And I know that they're right there, right on the bottom where they should be. Now you don't want to go back on it because you'll pin the throat down if you go back on it. Now I can just remove the excess. Be careful when you hold that excess up because you can pull it out. Sometimes you might just pull that throat right back out. And there we go. Now I'm going to take a single slip from the turkey wing, and I'm going to make this wing. Normally what you would do for the size of a wet fly wing would be to touch the shank and then poke it through. But I want this to be, and then that slip would be the proper size. But I'm going to make this one twice as large. So I have my slip, and then of course we got this and it's not even. I'm going to pull that piece off. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to even these out. And then I'm going to fold this slip in half. And now basically I have 2 wings. I'm going to measure this. And you can actually get a little bit of an arch back in there. So I want that wing to go just into the tail. I'm going to make a loose loop, pull it straight down. You're going to see the front come up. Here we go. And then we can go ahead and wrap the head. Trim that excess. Trim that nice and close. Clean up that head. Take my whip finish. Take the hook from the whip finish, put it over the thread, go around the camel hump, bring it back around, turn your whip finish up. You have an X. Take that X to the hook shank, and then just wrap your whip finish. Take the camel hump out, pull the hook up to the hook shank, and remove it. Tug that in there. Take your poke and snip cuticle trimmer. Trim that thread off nice and close. And you can take your head cement And I'm getting a little bit on the base of the wing there. The 16 is a little bit small for a March brown. They tend to be bigger. 14 would be going on the smaller. They're like 12, 14s. But you tie this, a nice March brown wet fly, and you go and you use this as a dry fly. When you got caddis coming off, or when they're just being super selective, this just looks like a caddis or a bug that's just in the film, stuck in the film, or died or something, but they eat it. And I hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase this or any flies I make, go to etsy.com/shop/flymanjim. And if you don't see it there, send me a message and tell me what you want. We'll figure it out. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.